A big warm welcome to the director, Ilya Naishuller. Thank you.
Hi.
Stars
Thank you.
Priyanka Chopra Jonas. And the brilliant actor portraying the President of the United States of America, John Cena. It's so great to have you with us today. Thank you so much for coming to London and bringing such an impressive helicopter. So I've got some questions. The first one is to all of you. In a real-life crisis, who from the cast would you want as your emergency contact?
Who wants to go first?
I want to think. You guys go first?
Ilya's attention to detail always astounds me, and I believe a lot of the operation in crisis comes through preparation. He's one of the most prepared people I've ever met. He would be my my emergency contact.
Oh, yes. And he could be the emergency contact because he is in the cast. Did you see our director's little cameo in the movie?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love that. What about you, Ilya?
Well, I'm going to split it evenly because, hey, I can't pick one.
And we're both sitting here.
And you're both. Well, you know what? Idris isn't. So
The
you know what?
pressure.
It'll be
That's
these
what-
two. It'll be these two. There we go. I would, yes. Automatically. That's it. I'm done.
Okay. Our next question is from India. Heads of State seems packed with high octane moments. What was the most challenging or fun scene to shoot together?
I'm looking forward to answers on this because that's been a question I've been asked a lot. But I'm sitting here with someone who had the mind behind the lens.
Okay.
For me, the biggest hill was navigating through Air Force One and trying to make that beautiful practical set look authentic to the action. But that was only for my little piece. You have the person with all the chess pieces right here. So
To me, I wasn't a part of Air Force One, but when I read it for the first time, I was like, how do they intend to achieve this, you know? And we did. They made a beautiful set. But to me, I also loved The Beast. We shot it for a really long time. It was an amazing, I love a good car chase in a movie. And oh, Tom and Tina was fun. Yes, Tom and Tina, I was like, are we really going to the Tom and Tina festival? What is that going to be like? So we had so many amazing set pieces in this movie. It was so much fun to do. What was
I would
most
love your
challenging?
perspective. What was
Yes,
the most
what was
Yes.
most challenging for you?
In terms of coming up with the actual sequence and making it pixel perfect regarding tone, it's the Gopnik fight in the Belarus village. It's the technically it's the easiest one because you know John has some experience throwing people around, but just because you need the comedy, you need the action, you don't need one to overshadow the other. So that just took a lot of thinking and a lot of just testing to get that perfect. But technically, I would say it's the beast chase because not the exteriors, because the exteriors, you know, going through Trieste, you're blowing stuff up, there's a fire truck on fire, it's fun. I think the interiors because you have 4 people fighting inside a very small space, and you know John's a pretty big guy, so you know make sure that.
And then we threw Idris in the mix.
And then you get Idris in there. It's like all of a sudden it's like, all right, there's no space for the camera, but you need space for the camera. You want the punches to feel good, and you know sometimes they felt a little too good.
Yeah, when John actually felt it on his face.
Yeah.
He got clipped.
Yeah, John got clipped, and which was we then teased Wade Briggs, who played the chef for a long time. It's like, all right, take 3, let's do that again, and this time, Wade, please do not punch John Cena in the face. Thank you. But if I recall what John said when that happened, it was you know for us it was fun until we realized that actually happened, and John turns and said, "I've been hit harder by stronger people. Let's not do that again, please." Just the classic-
everybody gets one. Everybody gets one.
No.
That doesn't mean all of you get to punch me in the face.
Ilya, this next one's for you. How early on did you know that this cast was the right fit? Can you tell us about assembling them and working with such a star-studded cast?
I think we've been shooting John and Idris for I think maybe 2-3 weeks, and then we do the train scene, which is the reintroduction of all 3 of them together. And we got the cameras, and John is sleeping on the train couch, snoring. And Idris and Pri have this romantic, quiet, very reserved moment. And we talked quite a bit before we started shooting, but the day shows, everybody shows up in costume, everyone looking wonderful.
And it was the first time we all met
All
officially for
on
the
set.
movie. On
Oh,
set.
really? Okay, because that's interesting, because sometimes
While
you
we
have
were
a meet up
filming.
before, but...
And Idris slides open the door, Priyanka turns around, we got 2 cameras, and they start going, I'm sitting there going like, this is gonna be easy. literally, I thought it was like, yes, you can direct a little bit. You need to make sure we hit all the right points. But the guy spent so much time in prep, so much time is like the physical aspect, the character aspect, that again, like no movies are easy to do. Doesn't matter the scale, budget, genre, whatever. But it was just having these three. It's the director's dream, and I say that I have never been as professionally happy as I have been in the last 3 years. Mostly because these guys are incredible.
That is so wonderful. How nice that you all got on so well. That's so great to hear. Okay, this next question is from Brazil. Heads of State is a mix of espionage, action, and comedy. How did you balance these elements? And were you inspired by classic action and spy movies?
Hefe, take it, man.
This is you.
Yeah, this is you. This is absolutely you.
Look, I love the 80s and 90s buddy genre.
Mhm.
Some of my favorite stuff that Hollywood would make.
Yeah.
And when this movie was pitched to me, it was originally an action thriller. And I was like, why are we doing an action thriller? Why are you making the guys all ex-military? Let's make them not as capable. Let's make John's character an ex-movie star turned president. So he's got a great comic perspective on everything.
Yeah.
He thinks he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't. That's always just fun.
Mm.
And getting the tone right was just a lot of thinking. And I would lie on the couch, listen to a lot of music, and play the movie in my head. And I have a little bit of synesthesia, so I always see everything in color. So I'll be like, all right, this I think we're leaving the orange a little too much. And I always felt that it was an orange movie, hence the font and the color of the title is orange, because that is the movie. And again, it's great to have a vision, it's great to have a good idea, but then I looked at credit list, there's 2,600 people that worked on this movie.
Goodness.
And we were all rowing that boat to the same bountiful shore. So it was not easy, but it was not particularly hard.
Oh, I love that. And I also just love learning how you envision color and how you bring it into your work.
I used to think everybody had it. I was surprised, like, you don't see color.
It's
Like,
a
what do you mean?
superpower.
I started using it when I realized it's unique, yeah.
Okay. This next one's for you, John. You're known for your roles for your comedic timing and physical roles. What made this movie stand out to you from the rest?
Well, initially, the origin story of the movie is kind of a continuation of the chemistry Idris and I showed in The Suicide Squad. And I think when you start with an identifiable lane like that, and we took a script that was written for like two badass guys to kick ass and in the world of turmoil. And I think we were both honest, Idris and myself were both honest enough to be like, the characters need flaw. And I think when you're honest and vulnerable enough to be able to laugh at yourself, and a lot of the comedy is not witty punchlines, a lot of the comedy in the movie is action. And I've been saying it all day to a lot of your questions. I feel action comedy is the language of the world. Everybody knows how to feel when somebody gets a pie in the face. So the more we can lean into those moments, the broader our reach, the more audiences will entertain, the more your questions are valid and important. And honestly, I just think we did a really good job making the best movie rather than I want to be the toughest character. Because if I'm a tough character in a movie nobody watches, where's the win? I would rather be the joke of the whole movie and have the world laugh with me and be able to do another one. So
I love that. Priyanka, let's come to you now. This role that you play is traditionally portrayed by men. Do you feel a sense of responsibility by taking it on, especially in representing the reality that women are just as capable, if not more so, of protecting heads of state?
Thank you for that question. It's very astute. First of all, yes, that was what was very enticing about this movie from the beginning. But I have to point out, I've been saying this all day, that parts like this don't just become. You have to have someone that conceptualizes and has the ability to see beyond. This movie was predominantly made by men. The director is a man, the producers are men, the co-actors are also producers, but all of them, being feminist men, knew that the muscle in the movie will be a woman. And I think that that was very important to Ilya from our first meeting. And I thought it was really funny, honestly, not just because I think women are extremely capable, but just the sheer size of me between the three of us visually was hysterical to me. But I think that was really important to the men on this movie, and I felt really, really safe, taken care of, and protected because they just wanted to put me and my character in the front, and I think that was just very generous and giving.
Yeah, well, you were iconic. You kicked ass.
Thank you.
Okay, this next one is for John. It's from Spain, so thank you, Spain. You just entered a long list of actors who portrayed US presidents. Do you have a personal favorite performance or movie that inspired that?
No, and that's the short answer. I think what's special about a character description of President of the United States, everyone across the world has a vision in their mind of what that is. And a lot of times in movies, when we deal with a group of unknowns, we spend a lot of the movie defining the character. I think we are way out in front of character definition when we lead with President of the United States. After that, our script was written so well that I get character traits of almost recklessly optimistic, stubborn, the need to be adored, public perception is important. Like all of those things I can begin to mix on how I would craft that character. But what I value most about the job title is it's one that everyone has a vision in their head. I don't have to spend time telling people who I am. I think that worked to our advantage when it's President of the United States, Prime Minister of the UK. That really helped us from frame one.
Mm-hmm. There's some brilliant scenes in this movie. Looking at you, John, I can't help but giggle inside at the scene with the sheep nipples.
Teats. I've learned that there's no such thing as a
Teats,
sheep
that's what
nipple.
they're
There's
called.
sheep teats. Sheep teats. Thanks for Australia for that one. Is there?
We
Right on.
literally had a whole conversation around
Today's
what
Show
they
Australia
were
was
called
like, hey,
when
it's
we were
teats.
filming the scene.
It's teats.
teats.
Okay,
It's
sheep
teats.
teats.
That's cool. We put it in the movie. We brought this on ourselves.
Brilliant, brilliant moments in this movie. I'd just love to know for all three of you, what were your favorite moments?
No, you want to go last? Cool. You good? There's a shot in a pub that ends the movie that was of very wide scope, but it starts out very intimate. And I didn't see the wide scope until I saw the movie. So my experience of that shot was a very intimate conversation with a friend in the midst of me having salmonella. So a friend and co-actor Idris came to my aid, and he helped me get through the day, and it was beautiful. But then when you see it on film and I see what's in your brain, and I have my moment of what that day was like, and then we pan out to see the cinematic experience, that was a really special thing, and it definitely, you know what you're talking about, man. It was just very, very good to see.
Much too kind.
Yeah, it was really cool. I loved Noel's montage when it goes into the flash cuts. It's so funny. And again, we shot them, it took a long time to shoot that, but it was so funny.
Mm-hmm. Ilya?
It's impossible to pick one, but I'll pick one, and I think it's the sheep truck scene with John and Idris. Again, I love the Priyanka's pops as she's going across the world. It's I love everything about it. Everything I didn't love is not in the movie for good reason. But I think that sheep truck scene, because it was
Iconic.
we shot it practically. The guys were surrounded by sheep. It was not a comfortable experience for the gentleman. Okay. I was sitting in the other trailer going, "That was great. One more, please." And I remember I ran up and he's like, "Now, John, you got to hide under the sheep for this next one." And John's like, "Ilya, would you please climb up here?" And I climb up and he's like, "Have a look." And what I saw at the bottom was no man should ever get close to that. So, we reset the truck, did everything correctly. But just the fact that it was a scene where it was the least direct I had to do because the scene worked. Everything on the page was just perfect already. We're in the real truck. The sun is shining. I love that John is squinting throughout. He's got wind in his hair. And this is the first, I think, moment in the film where his character is genuinely earnest. And I remember my first meeting with John. And when I was watching that scene unfold as we were shooting it, I was like, that's the feeling I got when the first time we spoke. And he was just telling me about how he views what we should be doing. And I think it's just a very special thing because also the first thing I drew for the film, the first concept art that I was pitching was the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of the UK with farm animals and a sheep after they got beaten up. I was like, that's the film. We'll sort out all the action, but that's the heart. So that was very special for me.
Oh, it came together so well. Honestly, I think that might become one of those most voted moments. Another question here for you, Priyanka, from Spain. It says that you're an expert in action roles and have played both powerful heroines such as Alex Parrish, Nadia Sin, and also memorable villains like Victoria Leeds. Do you enjoy playing the hero more, or how about the villain? Which do you prefer?
I do enjoy playing the bad guy. I won't lie. I'm a really good girl in real life, so I get to push the envelope a little bit. Bad guys have all the fun.
Yeah.
They do.